Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Designs here. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be the final video based on the Paper Pumpkin Box of Sunshine kit. The previous two videos we've made up some boxes to send out some little gifts to people. On the final video I just wanted to go back to making a card using the leftover elements from the kit, and the one I've chosen to use this time is the pineapple. So my base card in Whisper White is cut at my normal size of 8 by 6, scored at 4 on the long side, and I'm going to be using the card in the portrait style. The equivalent metric to that would be 20 by 15, scored at 10 on the long side. Now, I was really excited with this because it's given me an opportunity to use the rainbow glitter paper, which I've had for a little while, but I was just waiting for the right project to use it on. And I'll just share with you the complete sheet of that. Well, not the complete sheet. I've obviously cut some off of here, but this is the whole range of colours. On here we've got Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Granny Green Apple, Magenta Madness, and Mango Melody. And I love the way it's got that lovely rainbow effect, and there's a bit of shimmer in there, and we all know I love a bit of shimmer. So very pretty paper. 2 sheets of that will cost you £5.50. Lots of possibilities, and lots of different colour mixes you could use with that depending on which part of the paper that you use. So I've used the top end, which is basically sort of the yellows and the pinks. I'm guessing the Blackberry Bliss running into that kind of makes sense, I think. So Mango Melody, Magenta Madness, and the Blackberry Bliss, the varying shades in between. So that is my first layer, and that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, or 9.5 by 14.5. And that's basically, it's going to have one layer on the front. Inside I'm going to have 2 layers. So again, my first layer is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I've actually used Daffodil Delight on there. It kind of worked, although the colours within the kit were actually crushed curry. You can see the variation in colours, and I just thought that the Daffodil Delight worked quite well with that. And it was far enough away from the front for it not to matter. And again, we've got a variation of colours, so that wasn't a bad mix, I thought. So I think I said this already, but 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, 9.5 by 14.5 for that one. Then I've got a second layer which is going to have my message written on, which is Whisper White, and that is 3.5 by 5.5, 14 centimetres by 9 centimetres. So let's put some of the card together. Do the inside first. Now, I'm actually making this as a congratulations card for my amazing stepdaughter, who is also my Stampin' Up upline. Each year Stampin' Up run an incentive trip, so as you can imagine, it's a holiday, and this particular holiday is to Maui. So to but to qualify for that holiday, you, as you can imagine, have to work extremely hard to achieve that, which I'm happy to say that she has done yet again. So I just wanted to say well done and send her a congratulations card. And it was a really good excuse to get my my glitter paper out and make a pretty card from it. So let me stick my, I think it's one of those things, we've probably all got the same equipment, but it's really nice. We spend so much time making cards ourselves that it's really nice when I think we get one of our Stampin' Up colleagues actually sends us a card made with our products. We finish up with a pretty card that we haven't had to do anything to achieve. So I'm hoping she'll appreciate it. I'm sure she will. So that's my front layer. Now I'm going to add my insert here, and to keep the pineapple theme going, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but then I remembered that we do have the Timeless Tropical stamp set, which very conveniently does have a pineapple on it. Timeless Tropical stamp set is £21, and it's got lots of lovely tropical designs, as the name would imply, but there's some nice sentiments on there as well. Now, to keep the gold theme going, I thought what I would do is I would heat emboss pineapple with gold embossing powder. Then I've just coloured that in using some Stampin' blends. Now I've done that because I basically wanted to get the card, wanted to do the card and not mess it up, because let's be honest, I mess things up when I film. So I'm just going to stick this in, but I'm actually going to show you what I did with the pineapple. So that's my inside of my card. Centralising that so I've got similar amounts of Daffodil Delight going around each side. That's basically the card finished. To pretty up the envelope, I've just heat embossed the same pineapple. I'm not going to colour this because Stampin' blends will go through the envelope. It doesn't matter on the card because the effects of the Stampin' blends, you can't see that because it's stuck to another piece of card. That would just go through your envelope here and look very messy. So I've just stuck with some heat embossing there. And I also have the dies that coordinates with this stamp set, so the In The Tropics Dies, and I thought that was Aloha, quite Hawaiian. So I've cut that out using this little die for that word. Now I'm going to also add that onto the card. So although I've run this through my Big Shot, I've actually left it in the die so that I can get that out on camera. Now what I've done with this is I've stuck on the back of my gold foil, I've actually stuck a piece of one of the adhesive sheets. That means that it makes it so much easier for me to stick a word to the card, because every element of that or the area of the card, sorry, let's try this one again. All the area of this cutout will have glue on it. To try and stick this down with just a normal glue is going to be quite difficult. Now I'm not saying this is an easy die to get out, but I'm just using my paper piercer and just poking there through those little holes. Which is why I wanted to do it on camera, because it does sort of just help to give you some tips if it's something that you're quite new to. Now just go along here and make sure that you've taken out every element of the letters that need to come out. So I'm going to stick that in the card so we don't lose it. So it's just really a case of getting your nail behind the backing paper and then just peeling it off. Now keep your hands away from as much of this area as you possibly can, because every time you put your finger on the sticky bit you're going to remove some of the glue, so we don't want to do that. I'm just going to put that on the bottom there. So that's basically the inside of my card is all ready to write. I have to say I'm going to probably let her dad do that because his writing is so much better than mine. I might be able to sort of make cards in some format, but I'm not very good at handwriting. So I've got my congrats here, and I've taken that from one of the stamp sets I actually bought last week in the stamp sale, which was really good. So I've got my congrats here. It's the Many Mates stamp set. Have I written that down? Yes, £21. And I love this. I have to say, because there were so many in the sale, I went through all of them to see which ones I might fancy. And it really made me look through the catalogue again. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I've had it since May, and yet there are still stamp sets in there that I'm thinking, oh, I haven't seen that before. And I love this. There's some really good sentiments on here, but I also like these other little elements that go quite well. So we've got congrats here, but I've also added you totally earned it. Then it's got congrats on your retirement, for example. Thanks, you're so nice. So it's a really good good little stamp set, and I'm loving actually the happy anniversary. I was missing something. I liked the beautiful bouquet happy anniversary stamp, and I was kind of missing that since it left the catalogue. So I think that's going to be a really good replacement for me. So what I've done is I've heat embossed the congrats with some gold embossing powder, and I've cut that out with one of my layering oval framelit dies. And then I've got the gold foil layering die to go on the back of that. So again, you won't see much of the gold, but it just helps to lift it a little bit and keep that gold theme going. So I need to stick this onto the gold oval here. Now, as I said, there's not going to be an awful lot of the gold showing, so just hold it down at one end so that you can manoeuvre it until you're happy. Trying not to headbutt the tablet as I do this, but just so that you've got some gold showing all the way around, and it's fairly central. So that's good. Now I need some Stampin' dimensionals to put on my pineapple. I've got to be totally honest, my geography is pretty rubbish. I have no idea whether they have pineapples in Maui, but it gave me that tropical feel, so you know what, if they don't, it's what you call poetic license. Might as well stick another couple on here while I'm here. And just lay this out before we stick it down. So I've got my pineapple there. Got my congrats will go there. And then using one of the little labels that came from the Box of Sunshine kit, I've actually stamped on, or gold embossed on that, you totally earned it. And I want that to go across the pineapple like so. So what I can't have is Stampin' dimensionals going across this area, because otherwise it's going to sort of like have that beveled look. If I have it like this, a Stampin' dimension at either end of that, that will just sit nicely on top of the pineapple. So I'm going to put one here and one there. And before I take the backing off, I'm just going to make sure that that is clearing my pineapple. Yeah, that's fine. So stick the pineapple on first. Oh no, maybe we'll stick the congrats on first. Work our way down might be more sensible. I'm just going to put that on there. But regardless of the reason, it doesn't have to be a tropical reason for making this as a card. I just think it's a really happy card, and it would work with other sentiments, of course. We all need a bit of sunshine in our lives, especially the times that we're having to cope with at the moment. It's even more depressing over here because in the UK we're now heading towards the winter months. I always struggle a bit with that at the best of times, but there you go. We have to make the best of it. Carry on crafting and sending sunshine cards to our friends and loved ones. Right, so I'm going to put my pineapple, basically centralise that on the front there of my card. And then I'm just going to take the backing off of here. Put it the right way up, that's always a good plan. Then I'm just going to lay that across the top of the pineapple. Just press that gently down. So that is my finished card. So I did say I would share with you how I did the pineapple in here, so let's do that. Put my little die back before it gets lost. You can spend ages looking for things that disappear. So I need my Timeless Tropical stamp set, and I need the little pineapple out of there. I'm just going to stick that on my block. I've got a C block on there. I'm going to, what I haven't done is I haven't bought my embossing buddy in, but we'll just go with it for now. I haven't even bought some spare paper in, which is even more disconcerting, I have to say. If there's anything in this drawer that will work, that will do, I think. Stick a couple of post-it notes together. I bought extra in for my last video, and I haven't bought any in this time. But we can make do. There we go. So I'm just going to put my gold embossing powder across the image there. Not doing at all well because I've just realised I haven't bought my my brush in either. However, this is not for me to be using, this is for me just to show you what to do. I'll give you an idea of what to do. It's kind of, don't do as I do, do as I suggest. Now normally I would have a paintbrush and I would be wiping any excess off, and I would, in all honesty, if I was embossing, I would use an embossing buddy to stop the powder sticking where I don't want it. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment, because it actually might be very quick for you. I'd leave you with a shot of my desk. There we are, there's a shot of the card, and I'm going to go and get a paintbrush. There we go. It's got to be easier to try and do it slightly properly. So there is going to be an element of powder left on here that shouldn't be. Well worth making yourself a little embossing buddy if you haven't got one of the Stampin' Up ones. And there is a video on how I made a very basic one, but I have to say it does work. You'll find that going back a little bit on my YouTube channel. Right, it's not going to be perfect, but it's just going to give you an idea. So you could leave it like that, but I just wanted it to look a bit like the pineapple on the front there. So what I've done is, this is a light Daffodil Delight stamping blend, and I'm just going to colour in the little areas between the gold embossing that's on there. Now I did try and go all over it, but the embossing didn't then show through. It was just like a big yellow blob on my paper, so you do have to do what I'm doing for it to look a little bit more effective. And then I'm just going to add an extra bit of colour by using the dark version of the Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend. They're just random additions of some darker colour, just to give it that shading that you've got on your pineapple from the paper pumpkin. And then to add some green to that, I've got my Granny Green Apple Light Stampin' Blend. There's just some areas here that are blank that you can colour in. And if you want to add some darker element to that, you can use your Granny Green Apple Dark Stampin' Blend. So it just ties it in more with the actual design of the pineapple by adding that little extra bit of colour. As you can see, we haven't done that on the envelope and it's still quite effective, but I just wanted to, as I say, make it match the front of the card. So that's the general idea. If this was a perfect, it's probably not such a, there isn't such a thing, is there, but you know, a slightly better version of this, if I'd remembered my embossing buddy, I could use my little die that comes with that die set, and I could cut that out and use that on another project. If I didn't say, the In The Tropics dies are £33. So again, if you want to just give your cards that wow factor, dies are a great way forward. If you're looking at this and thinking, well, I haven't got the paper pumpkin kit, I'm probably not going to buy it, but I actually like that pineapple idea, you can achieve that with these tropical dies. Let me just put them away, let me get them out again. Within this set, you've got a die for a pineapple base and the top of a pineapple. I've just made again quite a quick version of this, but it basically cuts out the bottom part of the pineapple. So what I did is I cut that out in Daffodil Delight, and then all the little cutout bits, I stuck it onto a piece of Whisper White. Now again, I would use an adhesive sheet if I was doing this properly for a card. I would use an adhesive sheet, stick the Daffodil Delight to the Whisper White card. In the middle here, I've gone through with the dark version of the Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend. Then I've gone over the whole thing with the light Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend. I've then cut this piece out of Granny Green Apple, and then I've just picked out some of the leaves with the dark Granny Green Apple Stampin' Blend. Now the lovely thing with this particular die is that these leaves stand up, and they stand up as sort of cut out versions of the leaves to give you that bit of texture on your card. This one should stand out as well, but I've unfortunately stuck the glue up where I shouldn't, so that's something to remember. Glue dots will work to stick that, but make sure you know where you're sticking your glue dot, because that should be coming upwards. Anyway, that's a very basic version of how you would make a pineapple. What I would also do is I would fussy cut around this bit and then stick that onto my card base, and then add this bit up afterwards. I'm very tempted that I will at some point in the not too distant future actually feature this on a card, because I've not used this before. I've used the dies quite a bit to cut the flowers out, but not used the pineapple, so who knew it was that good. So that's it for the this final video on the paper pumpkin kit. As I say, I'm just going to put that up there. because I just want to highlight. You look after those stamp sets for me, Ollie, thank you. So with my paper pumpkin kit, they are fast selling out, but with the kit I have made 8 cards. So we've got our 8 cards. Got a bit mixed up. Basically, I dropped them. So we've got 8 cards with the envelopes. I've made decorations for 3 boxes. I'm actually running out of space now, so let's just move this. So I've made decorations for 3 boxes, and I have made a card. I have still got left in my box almost a complete sheet here, so I've got enough to put 2 lemons together and use 1 leaf for each. I've got 2 more big pineapples and I've got 2 suns. I could just use one of the lemons with the leaves, whatever. I could do whatever combination. I've still got one of these little labels left, and I've still got some sticky polka dot, black and white polka dot layers that I can add to my cards. Plus I've got my little elements here to decorate the box if I want to send it to somebody as a gift. So for £20, I have to say there is an awful lot in this kit. It really is. I've said it so many times, but it really is the kit that keeps on giving. Plus, of course, you do have a really lovely stamp set, which has got some great sentiments in it, which you'll be using for, I'm sure, a long time after the kit has all been used up. So I hope that's been of use to you. If you haven't bought one of these, but you really think you absolutely must have one, then please don't delay. Do place your order because they are selling fast. You will need to complete the kit. You will need a D block. I'm sure if I actually bought one of those in, but it's the D size block that you need, which is an additional £8. Now, if you're already a crafter, you've no doubt got a number of stamping blocks in your possession, and I've got to say that the reason for not including the block was to basically keep the cost down, and it's actually a much better idea because I've got to be honest, I prefer these sticker ones. You can really sort of grip them and stamp well with them, so I think it's certainly the way forward. So I hope that's been of use to you, and even if you haven't got the card, I hope perhaps you can use some of the ideas that sorry, let's try that again. Even if you haven't got the kit, I hope that you can perhaps use some of the ideas of how you can perhaps decorate some boxes using other elements, or how you can use the new glitter paper, etc, etc. So if you have enjoyed my video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. It really is encouraging when people do, because it just sort of gives you that encouragement to sort of keep going, keep coming out here, putting yourself out here, and generally making a mess of everything, but hopefully cheering you up a little bit along the way. So I will be back with another project in the not too distant future. Until then, all my links as usual are on the front of the video, and until then, do please look after yourselves, take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye for now.